Hello Star Seekers, thank you for joining me in this video. Today we will be discussing the new moon in Aries on March 21st, around that time, depending on where you are in the world. And this is also the spring equinox. The sun moves into Aries, the moon moves into Aries, and there's a few other planets there, and they are making aspects with some other planets. So stay with me as we discuss the potentials of the new moon in Aries for you. Now, my usual disclaimer about which sign you should be watching. In order to know where this energy will be affecting you, you need to know which houses these particular signs fall into, specifically Aries for this new moon. Which house Aries falls into is determined by your rising sign, not your sun sign. Horoscopes are determined through rising signs. Your sun sign is very important when you're learning about your personality and how you shine in the world and where you show off. But when we're talking about predictive horoscopes, it is your rising sign that we are looking at in order to determine which house a sign falls into and therefore which area of life this energy will be felt in. So, with that said, let's get into this. Hello Capricorn rising, thank you for joining me. Let's get right into this. So when we have a new moon, we have the sun and the moon on the same side of the earth, and this time they are in Aries, which is your fourth house. That is your house of home, family, roots, foundation. Joining the sun and the moon, we also have Mercury, which is conjunct these three. They're all very close together. And we also have Jupiter joining them, but Jupiter is much farther out in the sky. So it's still there affecting them, but not as strongly as these three together. Now, but what does that mean specifically for you is these energies here in your fourth house, this can bring a strong desire for independence and a need to break away from your family traditions or family expectations. This placement can indicate a success in businesses related to your home, in your home, or real estate ventures, or having to deal with property. This energy can also bring a tendency towards impulsive decisions when relating to your home or your family matters or people who live within your home environment. And this could lead to conflicts, which could lead to unstable living conditions. So be very aware of that. There's a lot of energy going on with your house and home situation. Venus is also over here in Taurus. Venus just moved into Taurus just a few days ago, just a few days before this new moon. And with Venus in Taurus, this is bringing a heightened appreciation for the beauty and pleasure and creativity in romance, hobbies, self-expression, recreation, drama. This placement can indicate a desire for stability and security in your romantic relationships and in your creative pursuits. Now we also have Uranus here in the fifth house. It's been there for a few years and it'll be there for a couple more. But this has been bringing some unexpected changes and sudden new developments to your romance situations, to your hobbies, or to your creative self-expression or recreation or entertainment areas of your life. This placement may also indicate that you've been fascinated with innovative and unconventional ideas relating to these areas of life, your recreation or fun or romance. And this can express as non-traditional approaches to romantic relationships or to the way that you have fun and find recreation. Now together, these two in your fifth house, this is creating a mix of the stable energies of Venus and the unpredictable energies of Uranus in the areas of romance, hobbies, and your creative self-expression, creative projects. And this could manifest as a desire for pleasure and stability, but with a willingness to try new and unconventional approaches or ideas to fun, romance, children, how you interact with children or with your own children. And we also have Neptune we have Saturn over here. Saturn just moved into Pisces, which is your third house. That's the house of communication. So this is bringing that Saturnian discipline and focus to your communication. It's allowing you to really dive into some hard work and some self-reflection relating to learning, writing, speaking, communicating, getting your message across. This placement can also indicate a need for boundaries and structure in these areas of your life, in your communication and in information exchange. Neptune is also in this third house in Pisces. It's at home in Pisces, and this is bringing a heightened sensitivity and intuitive connection to your areas of learning, writing, speaking. This placement can indicate a tendency towards idealism and confusion in these areas of your life. So you need to make sure that you are getting clarification on any kind of communication that you are receiving. Now together, the Saturn and Neptunian influences in your third house can result in a mix of that disciplined energy along with the intuitive energy. And this is focusing on your communication and your learning. This can manifest as a need for structure and boundaries in your communication and learning, and combining those with this sensitivity and this intuitive connection to your power, to the power of your speaking, the power of your words, the power of your communication, or the information that you are trying to get out to others. So we also have a square aspect between the Sun and Moon and Mars over here in Gemini. With Mars and Gemini squaring off with the Moon, that's kind of creating a bit of a conflict or a challenge. So with the Sun and the Moon being in your fourth house in Aries, this is suggesting a strong emphasis on your emotional security and your desire for a stable home life. This is creating a need for you to assert yourself in your domestic matters and to take charge, to be the leader in your living situation. The square aspect with Mars in your sixth house can create tension between your need for this fulfillment and your need for intellectual stimulation and for productivity with your need for responsibilities in your daily life, in your daily activities, in your daily routines, as well as your own personal health. The Sun and the Moon over here are also conjunct this Neptune right next door. Neptune's at the tail end of Pisces, and the Sun and the Moon are just at the beginning. So they're only 5 degrees apart, which makes them conjunct. And what this is doing is creating a highly intuitive and imaginative approach to your home and family, as well as to your communication. This placement can indicate a desire for you want to express yourself creatively through writing or other forms of communication, and you also want to use your gut intuition, your instincts, and your spirituality to create that sense of security and stability within your home life and your home environment. Be aware, though, that there can be some challenges related to boundaries again. Neptune doesn't really recognize boundaries that well, and you need to maintain a clear sense of reality versus fantasy when it comes to your home relationships, your family relationships, and your home life situation in general. The Sun and the Moon over here in your fourth house are also making a 60-degree angle to Pluto, which has been in your first house for a very long time, Capricorn. It's been really a rough, close to 20 years. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, and for you Capricorn risings, that has been a whole lot of just upheaval and completely undermining who you thought you were, who you thought you identified with, and it's really creating a whole new playing field for a whole new you. And it's about to move into Aquarius, which is in your second house, and that energy is going to be a huge wonderful shift for you Capricorns. I know it's been very hard. I have a Capricorn very close to my heart, and it's been rough, and I'm very much looking forward to this movement of Capricorn into Aquarius for everybody. It'll be a great sense of relief for everybody to just have this very strong energy moving on. But anyway, in the meantime, during the new moon, Pluto is still in the first house. So it is making a sextile to this new moon over here in your 4th house. What this is doing is creating a powerful and transformative energy for your personal empowerment and your emotional security. This placement can indicate a deep desire for your sense of belonging and your ability to harness your personal power to transform your emotional foundation. Pluto is power. This is all happening over here in your house of home and home emotional foundation. Now be aware that there can be a tendency towards power struggles or emotional intensity in these areas of life, your house and home or your personal view of the world, if you don't channel this energy constructively. Venus over here in your 5th house is in a square to this Pluto, so it's making a challenging aspect to that, and this is bringing a strong desire for pleasure and self-expression through your creative pursuits or in your romantic relationships. This placement with the square to Pluto in Capricorn, this is suggesting that there's going to be, that you're really starting to see these hidden inner power struggles within yourself that are related to your ability to control your own self-image and your own personal identity, and this can impact your ability to show up authentically and in a healthy way, especially when you are trying to connect with others. So it's important for you to confront and work through any underlying dynamics you have that are impeding your ability to cultivate a greater sense of self-awareness and to fulfill your relationships, your romantic relationships, as well as your creative pursuits. Now Mars over here in your 6th house, this is in a trine. This is a much easier aspect than that previous one. This is a trine to Saturn in Pisces over here. Saturn's at the very beginning of Pisces. It just moved into Pisces in your 3rd house. And this is bringing this Saturnian discipline and strategic planning to your work and your daily routines. It's focusing on practical as well as intellectual pursuits that can support your overall goals of creating a new self. This aspect has the potential to give you the ability to use your mental energy and your focus to be as efficient and effective in your work life and in your daily life as possible, while still communicating confidently and authentically who you are and the message that you want to get out to the world. But it's important for you to be aware of the potential tendencies towards overthinking, over-worrying, over-stressing about work or health, because this can impede your progress and success in these areas. Don't overthink it. Mars over here in your 6th house is also in a square to the Neptune that's in your 3rd house. But because they're further apart, the angles are different. This is a square, so that's more of a challenge. And what this is doing is it's suggesting that you are very highly imaginative and creative at this time. And there's a big potential for hidden talents in your writing and your communication. This can all be coming to the surface. The Neptune is very watery, so this is all bubbling up to the surface. And this can but beware, because Neptune is water, so this can also bring confusion and idealization to your daily routines and your tasks. So this square between Mars and Neptune, this can present challenges in staying focused and in staying productive, and it might require a very concerted effort on your part to cultivate clarity and practicality in your work life and in your daily routines, as well as your personal health and wellness. So that's all I have for you today, Capricorn. I know that's a lot. Just look forward to this energy shift and know that there's going to be a lot of changes coming up for you. Just hold on a little bit longer, because you're going to get some relief. It's been a rough ride for a long time, but there's definitely some relief on the horizon. Okay, Capricorn, thank you for watching all the way through. If you have anything else you'd like to ask me, or if you have any, if you want to tell me what resonated with you, I'd love to hear that from you in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.